Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 14th episode of Never Over the Hil. Today, we have our guest, Maya Oren. So, Maya and I met actually on an online energetics of business course. We met, I'd say did we start this in September?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was September. It went on for 3 months, and it was with this woman, Desiree, who is super cool, brilliant meditation teacher, and I don't even know how to describe her, but she's very cool. And immediately, Maya and we just met eyes over Zoom, and we started writing in the chat, and it was immediately apparent that we were the two people that were going to be friends on this thing.
Yes.
So anyway, we ended up meeting in real life when I invited Maya to come and do a pop-up with her jewelry line that she hand makes. I'm wearing one right now. It's a Milagros of lungs, reminding me to breathe. And it was a super fun day. And she has a business called Shopsafta. And she also has a history of, she's a photographer amongst many other creative endeavors. So I'm going to pass the mic to you, and
Hello.
You can tell us about how you got started and where you're at now.
Oh, man. Well, my journey is a winding one, as all of ours
Yes.
are. But I got my start, I would say, in 2014. I was doing filmmaking for the food industry, which at the time was not a thing. And everyone would look at me like I had 14 heads.
Isn't that crazy?
It's just wild. And to think about where we are now online, people were like, you want to film my food for the internet? And I was like, yes.
Yeah, and just 10 years later, it's you can't imagine it ever not being a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was right before, I was right on that bubble of Tasty and Taste-Made videos and all that stuff.
Right.
But yes, I was doing that, filming farms and the farm to table movement, a lot of restaurants. And then I moved into photography with that as well. And then I was traveling a ton with my work. This was pretty much all the way up until the pandemic. So about 6 full years. And then
you were working for someone, or you were just doing freelance
for
work?
myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had a business called Mohalvo, which is my first initial and my middle name.
Okay.
And yeah, was just traveling around doing that. I lived in DC for a long time doing it. And then had a bit of a transition during the pandemic. I worked as a creative director at a hotel for a little bit and was really in charge of all of the amenities, the programming, the events, anything happening that was the community was me. So
you did photography for that, or you actually also planned? And photography?
No photography. So yes,
okay.
I took a break from the photography,
right.
And I was doing mostly the conceptualization. So it was all kind of how is this brand going to translate into this program, or how is it going to translate into this brand partnership?
That's really cool.
It was really fun.
Yeah. Okay, and then how did you get started doing what you're doing now? And tell us about Shopsafta.
Yeah, so that transition, I kind of burnt out of the hotel world. It's, if you've worked in hospitality, it's a lot. Mm-hmm. And I decided to take a break and move up to the woods. And while I was up in the Pocono Mountains, I had this idea. It really actually stemmed from my Judaism. I really wanted to have a brand or a place online where I could find cool Judaica. And I just didn't know where to go. I started collecting all these cool brands and makers, and then kind of transitioned over the time that I've had this idea.
Right.
It's transitioned from that to now being a home for ritual. So it's something that I'm hoping people will use as a resource to, gather ceramics or, incense holders and things that they can use in their life day to day that really brings in this feeling of peace and serenity and invites you to kind of take moments to really be intentional with what you're doing. And while I was planning this, I was getting frustrated because I had no money to invest in it. And I started making beaded jewelry from a box of beads I found in my family's basement.
Love this. I love it.
And I started posting them, and I was making just stretch string, stuff that we used to wear when we were kids. Mm-hmm. And I think that nostalgia really got to people 100%. And they were give me all the things.
I know I did. I saw it and I was like, I want that one. I want that one. I want that one. Maya, make me this, make me that. I mean,
you were one of my best customers. And I was so excited. I'm like, this Hillary girl. But it was just so much fun. Like, people were really receptive to it. And I think, like, one of my biggest things is I always put a lot of pressure on myself. And I'm like, it has to be perfect. I have to have the whole business plan, blah, blah,
That's
blah.
why I thought you were a Virgo.
Oh, I know. And I have no Virgo. Like,
Yeah,
it's the Capricorn, though.
okay,
It's the
yeah,
Capricorn.
right.
And but the beating was like showing me that, like, I can have fun. And when I have fun, people want to be involved with that. It's like this infectious energy.
Yes.
And like you are like the personification of this, like 100%. This whole store is. So
Thank you. Well, honestly, when I started seeing your necklaces and bracelets and everything, my whole premise of the store is I can't bring anything in here that I don't want to wear, that I
Yes.
don't want to use. So it's similar to like your concept of like things that resonate with you, and you're like, well, if they resonate with me and I love them so much, then I want to bring them out and to share them with people. So like that's why I was like, okay, not only do I just we had a connection, and then I was like, I connect with what you're doing because everything you just said is so on brand for me, but also like my brand is me.
yeah,
So
100%.
so I started wearing it, and I was like telling everybody, I was like, when I travel, I carry a lapis and a tiger's eye. And before I went to California last year, I was like, Maya, make me a bracelet for like protection for travel, and I wear it every day.
Ugh, I love it.
So anyway, so you're doing the jewelry, and then it's also going to be a part of the.
Yeah. So the plan is that it's the first product and kind of like this evergreen product that's going to exist are these talisman pieces.
Yes.
So the brand, or I guess the jewelry, has sort of evolved over the past couple of years. And now I still make the word bracelets, I still do the word necklaces,
Right.
but there's a little bit of like an elevation to it. I'm infusing crystals and, pieces that have like symbols and things that have meaning,
Yes.
and creating like each piece kind of has like an intention that I've like woven into it as I've beaded.
Yes.
And those things, they're actually going to be like listed that way too. So it's
love
like
it.
a
It's
piece for
such a-
balance.
It's so like I just right up my alley. Like when
too.
things are infused with meaning and they have an intentionality behind them. And like you're also doing the customs where you can, it's like these are my favorite things into one, like people answering questions or having a conversation around something that they want to set an intention for, and then you are taking that and making a piece of jewelry for them to wear, and it's like it's very powerful.
Yeah.
And I love it.
And the customs actually are the thing that's blowing up the most. And so I'm really going to be building it around the custom, and then everything else will sort of like orbit this, you
Right.
know, like there will be jewelry trays that are handmade by this like Turkish couple.
Is that the
and-
leather?
Yeah.
I love the leather
Yeah.
trays.
I'm like,
I know when you posted the poll, like, would you
Yeah.
like this? And there was like maybe one person that was like, I wouldn't buy this. I'm like,
who are
Who
you?
are you?
Yeah. I looked at them and I was like, I'm not gonna
I know.
publicly shame you,
Right.
but like,
yeah, I know.
yeah. And so, but it's just definitely like, I feel like everything, and we're so cut from the same cloth on
Yeah.
this, like the story behind items is so important to me. And
Totally.
especially with jewelry, it's like every single thing that I put on, if you walked up to me and you asked me, and I know the same for you,
Yes.
of like, what's this piece of jewelry?
Yes.
Like, where did this one come from?
my
and
God.
it all has this like beautiful, like fabric and story to be told that is like a part of you.
Yes.
And it's like, that's so beautiful and so cool.
I actually think that's like what jewelry was meant to be when
yeah.
it was invented thousands and thousands of
Right.
years ago.
Right.
So anyway, so and also I feel like you are one of the things that was so cool is Maya took a road trip, a cross country road trip, and also another part of the story is that you collected these different pieces, these different beads, and these different talismans from different parts of the country, really representing like what the different places are like. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but that was another cool aspect of it. So anyway, I am going to jump into the questions that I have for you today.
Man,
and
I'm so
actually, it's
nervous.
crazy because Maya has never seen any of the podcasts. So she is going to be totally, of course, I'm going to make you listen to them now.
Yeah, of course. On the way here too, I was like, I should listen to a podcast.
No, but
And
I
then was
actually
like,
think it's really actually cool because you have no idea what I'm going to ask you.
No idea.
And it's going to be like a real off the cuff conversation. So my favorite question is, do you have a daily uniform?
Okay, so I've always aspired to have a daily uniform. It's like one of those things. I have this one friend, actually they're a couple, and they're fabulous. They're beautiful. They're really tall. They like literally have both modeled before. The husband is like German and like just, he's like beautiful. Like every time I look at him, I'm like nervous to talk to him. And they have this like amazing minimal style
Yes.
that like I literally can't. And we go to their house and I'm like, I aspire to be like you.
Is their house the same?
Yes,
Yeah.
like it's everything's perfect. Like
Uncluttered.
they have like their two like sneakers by the door. They're both black. Meanwhile, like in my house, it's like maximal to the like.
Same. But did you see that's actually in style now?
It is.
Elle
And I'm
Decor
like,
predicted it.
finally, it's our turn. I wrote a piece about this on my Substack. Like,
and Maya's also a writer too,
I
which is
am.
another thing that I
feel like we should introduce myself as like a multi-hyphenate creative
Yes.
because like that's
Yeah.
just,
Yes.
you know, I'm
totally.
multi-hyphenate. I
Yes.
do many, many things.
Yes. But the daily uniform.
But yes, the daily uniform, like in my mind, and I have so many white button downs because like in my mind, it's like a white button down with like a cool pant.
Okay.
But I don't dress like that.
Okay.
Like today I'm like wearing this.
Right.
So.
But do you find that you have like certain things that you like? Are you a pants girl? Are you a sweater girl? Do you have something that you like put on, not even daily, but that you gravitate towards?
Yes, definitely. I think that, so I really love actually like what I'm wearing now, like a soft pant and like a big cozy sweater. That's like, I feel like my winter uniform.
Okay.
I absolutely love a dress. My
Okay.
entire wardrobe are dresses. They're all different patterns, and I love a really full skirt. That's
Okay.
always been my thing since I was a little girl.
Yeah.
My mom actually jokes about this, but when we'd go shopping, I would have to like spin in the store. And if the dress didn't like flare out all the way,
It was going back.
it was a no-go.
Okay.
Like I didn't want the tulip
Right.
like circle.
Yes.
It needed to be like a full skirt that like flared out.
I love
and that
that.
was my test. And I feel like to this day I still kind of like use that and dress that way. So in the winter sometimes I do, if it's a warm-ish day, like right now this transitional
Yes.
period, I love a big full skirt with like a
Yes.
big sweater on top of it.
Love it.
And then like I love chunky shoes and big sneakers and things like that. So
Yeah, so then that sounds like you do have a uniform, even though it's
Yeah.
not like the minimalist uniform,
Right.
but the things that you reach for all the time.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I have so many clothes, but there are those like 5 or 6 pieces that I just am like constantly washing and constantly going back
Yes.
to. So
Actually, you know what? Normally I don't ask this question so early on, but there is a question, what is your most versatile piece in your wardrobe? And I feel like you're like kind of answering that right now.
a little, yeah. I feel like
It could even be a style overall. Like I always reach for like jackets or blazers or whatever. What is your thing that you reach for over and over again?
this is gonna sound weird, but like a tight tank top. Like I don't like wearing bras, so like a tight tank is
Okay.
like the kind of staple piece that's always happening.
So it's like a cute undershirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also do really love a big sweater. Like I feel like a chunky sweater is kind of my jam.
Okay.
And I like it to be cotton, which is hard to find.
Yes, me
So-
too. I like sweatshirts for that reason over
Yes,
sweaters
yeah.
because wool, even though I love the idea of it, it makes me
I like
feel me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sensory issues to the
Yeah.
max.
So then I'd say like a big sweater is like something that you feel like, is it because of the way that it makes you feel?
Oh, yeah. So I will say I am an intuitive eater, intuitive dresser. The way that I dress in a day, like, and I was just telling you before we started this, I had an allergy attack on Sunday. And I feel like this whole week I've kind of just been like, it's comfort. I need comfort. I need like, cozy things. I also follow, and this might get a little witchy, but like my
It's okay.
cycle.
Yeah. Yes.
So, and when I'm like in certain parts of my cycle, I also feel inclined to dress certain ways. So
Totally.
like right now I'm finishing off my menstrual and going into my follicular. Yes.
Yes, I think. I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but I
Like
don't know.
we feel it. As women, we feel it.
Yes.
We're like learning the terms
Yeah.
because no one has taught us.
Right.
But yeah, so follicular is like this kind of like rebirth period, but actually the weather we're in right now. It's like this winter into spring. And
so the seasons are actually I'm in a course that I wanted you to join.
Yes.
And it's a seasonal teaching thing. So it's exactly what you're saying. And our cycles being 28 days also represent the entire year of seasons. And yeah, it's very interesting. But
We could have, like,
you
a
can
full
be very
3-hour
witchy on this podcast
Okay,
because
perfect.
my husband says that I'm a witch and my kids call me a witch. And I'm like, thank you. That's the nicest compliment ever.
Biggest
Because
compliment.
obviously we're good witches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And women are witches. Like,
Yeah,
that's just,
totally.
It's just part of our DNA.
It's like tapping into this. Like, yeah.
Indeed.
Okay, so do you have a name for your style?
This is another thing. So I feel like in high school, like you go through that phase in high school where you're just like, I'm a surfer girl, or like I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like over the years I realized I think I'm eclectic. Like I think it's like I'm a maximalist, I'm eclectic. I love a quirky piece. I
Okay.
feel like I also do have a classic bend to my style. So like there's a lot of button downs.
Right.
There's a lot of like really nice pants, like wide leg pants.
Okay.
I love a good tailor moment.
Yes.
However, I do love to like play with those proportions. Like I love to bring in like a weird shape or like a weird sleeve. So there's always like that quirky element to it. It could even be like a red sock with like, an all white outfit. But like I
Yes.
love that sort of like
So
moment.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it too. Yeah. Okay, so you said, so if you didn't have a name for your style, I asked, describe your style in 3 words. So I feel like you just said eclectic,
Yes.
quirky,
Yep.
playful, classic. Did I say classic already?
No, not yet.
Classic. And there was one other word that you used. I don't remember what it was.
Maximal.
Maximalist.
Yeah.
So I feel like those, knowing you now for a little while, like I definitely feel like those are spot on.
Amazing.
Yeah, like I feel like you did a really good job with that description. Okay, so tell me about your most memorable style or outfit. It could be like from childhood or anywhere
Okay.
in your life.
It's
Yeah.
like so difficult because I like have so many moments that I like they're pinging off in my head. But
Yeah.
so I'll mention 3 that
Okay.
come to mind.
Okay.
So the first is actually one from childhood. I think it's mostly because my mom always brings it up.
Right.
Because it was just there's a photo actually.
Yes.
But I was at a friend's birthday party and I'm on it was like a pony ride horse thing. But I was wearing this dress referencing back to my obsession with dresses.
Right.
And it was this like beautiful floral dress with an off the shoulder sleeve.
How old were you?
Maybe like 3.
Oh my God. Okay.
And then I had like when I was a kid, my hair, it's long now too,
Yeah.
but it was like really long and it was wavy. Like it wasn't curly.
Yeah.
But it was really frizzy. And so like in the sun, there would be like this halo.
Halo, yeah.
It was so cute. And it was like more blondish too.
Yeah.
And so I'm like wearing this dress and I'm on the horse
Yeah.
and like the sun is just shining behind me and I'm like I have this very demure smile like riding the horse
Yeah.
and there's a photo of me in it.
Yeah.
But like the dress was incredible and I just remember loving this dress because it felt like really adult, like with the off the shoulder and kind of princessy.
Yeah.
And it had this really soft like pink floral pattern on
Right.
it. So I loved it. The other 2 are from adulthood. I saved up and bought myself a Mara Hoffman dress, and she is my ultimate favorite designer ever.
I think we talked about this.
We must
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
And I went to her closing sample
Oh,
sale,
yeah.
and I met her, which was
Really?
literally highlight of my life.
Oh my God.
I
Yeah.
didn't even know what to say to her, and I
Yes.
hadn't eaten all day, so I was like shaking as I'm like trying to take a picture of us together.
Yeah,
like,
she's like iconic. If you grew up like in a certain time period, I remember pulling a lot of Mara Hoffman stuff when I worked for the fashion stylist,
Yes.
and just so she is like a witchy, like
our people.
gorgeous, like intuitive designer, and yeah, okay,
Obsessed.
I have a tie-dye dress from her that I still have from like
Oh, wow.
I don't know, probably 20 years ago.
Wow.
No, maybe like 15 years ago.
And now her pieces are like archives.
Yes.
Like they're like these
Yeah.
really special.
Yes.
So I have a popcorn
Do you
dress.
have a picture of this?
I do.
Okay.
It was, and I wore it to a wedding at a castle in Italy. It was ridiculous. So I have these really beautiful pictures, and I
Yeah.
brushed out my hair, and it's like huge.
Yeah.
And so that's one of my most proud moments. And then
What color was it?
it's a mix. It's fuchsia with like a tangerine orange and white, and it's like I'm sure you know it. It's the tank dress that's like
yes.
yeah. And I sadly got it one size too big, so it's a little.
Oh, can you get
big.
it like taken in?
Maybe.
Put like a rubber band in the back.
But I also feel I'm sure Mara would be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
But I actually feel like it will be really beautiful for like pregnancy one day. So I'm like, I'll just keep it the way it
Yes.
is, and like
Yes.
and then if I also just like gain
Feel
a
like-
couple of pounds and
yeah.
like want to feel like
Right. Yeah.
So we're gonna leave it.
Better big than small.
Exactly. Yes. And then the last thing is this other wedding I had to go to that was a blend. It was like an Indian American wedding,
Mm-hmm.
and I wore this like fusion suit that was made from sari material, and it was
my
this
God,
random
so
woman. I don't
cool.
even know how I found her, but I like found her on Instagram, reached out, we did the whole order through WhatsApp. She took my measurements, and it's this gorgeous.
Was it from India? Mm-hmm. Wow.
And it's beautiful. It's like a blush pink with like orange. It's so cool.
I love the color. Like when I think of India and I think of like saris and all that stuff, like it's always those colors. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I love about, you know, about like people who will embrace that.
I
And
love
there
color.
is a place for minimalism, but like I'm all about explosion of color and emotion and feeling and all of the stuff.
Me
So
too.
I feel like you put that in your jewelry
Yeah,
too. It's like
definitely.
really color, even though it's more about the stones, but it's also about like the colors. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so did your style, like growing up, or your style, did it influence what you pursued as a career?
Oh yeah. So I actually wanted to go into fashion.
Okay.
I was a hot mess in high school, fashion wise. Like
Me too.
oh my God. Like, but I wasn't even like one of those girls that was like experimenting with fashion and like cool. I
Yeah.
was just like flat out, like it was sad.
Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Boca in
Oh, that's
Florida.
right. Oh my God.
Yep.
Yes, totally.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
And when I lived in Boca, that was my younger years. And I went to private school, as most Floridians in that area do. We had this really fun uniform, and it was all about accessorization. So like you'd wear the
Interesting.
like,
I've literally never heard anybody say this
oh yeah.
fun school uniform.
Well,
So what
I
was
loved
it? Like what was
It's so basic. Like
Yeah.
I see kids like, everyone wearing uniforms, they wear like the same. It's
Yeah.
like the green with the khaki.
Yeah.
But it was like a khaki plaid or a pleated skirt. There was a jumper that was
Okay.
like a cute
like True Beverly Hills style?
exactly. And then it
love
had
that.
you
That's my
had to wear it
dream.
with like a puffy sleeve.
Yes.
I would literally pay money to get this
Yeah.
vintage and wear it now.
Yeah.
Like it was like a puff sleeve short, and then it had the Peter Pan collar, and then our school was Pinecrest, so it had the P and the C
cute. I'm
embroidered.
picturing it right now.
It was adorable, and I probably have a picture I can
Yeah,
share with you.
okay.
And then we had a collared like polo shirt, like that was in forest green that you could wear with the plaid skirt. Or
Okay.
sorry, not plaid. The
So you
pleated
had a
skirt.
couple of different options for
Yeah.
the uniform.
And then there were pants too. There were like short pants, khaki
Mm-hmm.
short pants, and then there was a white.
I'm picturing
Polo
I'm
shirt.
picturing the girls from True Beverly Hills right now. Like I'm picturing
literally
Shelley
exactly.
Long going into her tailor.
This is exactly like I think the uniforms are like inspired. Like it's the exact same
The
color
best.
palette.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
See, I actually think I would have liked to wear a uniform too.
was
And
the
there's something
best.
in my personality that like, well, so how did you accessorize it?
So well, it was all about that, and like if you've been to Boca, like Boca.
Harlan
is,
has.
Yeah.
He has some stories about Boca too.
It's also just like it's the best. Like I have a really soft spot in my heart for
Yeah.
it, but like it's a thing. It's a moment.
Yeah.
And so we would really, and this was the era of like Spice Girls and Britney Spears. So we had like this body glitter that we would like put on our arms.
And you were allowed to do that?
Not really,
Oh,
but
okay.
we would still do it.
Okay.
And then there was like the tattoo chokers that everyone wore. We
Yes.
would like do those.
Okay.
There was a moment with these like they're called undie bands, but it was like the top of like an underwear that they would like cut off and then like bedazzle and dye and stuff, and you would
I want
wear
to
it.
bring that back.
It was really fun. I think they still sell them. Like I'm pretty sure they're still around.
But like vintage.
well, now they'll be vintage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I have one in the basement still. The elastic was all
Like Fruit of the
stretched out.
Loom. Yeah.
Kind of,
Right.
yeah. And then they would put their like logo on it. It was
Right.
like undie bands.
Oh, yeah.
And then the shoes were like the big thing, and everyone wore like really nice. Like I'm
What was
embarrassed
the
to even
like
say.
it shoe?
So the one that I remember and I like begged my mom for was a Baby Spice shoe that came out. I forget what brand it was. Candies maybe.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it was this like patent leather, black and white, and it had like a platform like this.
So
thick.
you were totally allowed to wear any shoes you wanted.
Not really. There were rules. Like it
Okay.
had to be closed toed. It had like I think it was like a Mary Jane style or a sneaker.
Okay.
But like we bet, it's Florida.
Right,
It's Boca.
totally.
Like they're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
my child's gonna
Right.
wear this shoe
Yeah.
because whatever.
Yes.
And so yeah, we had these sneakers and somehow they were allowed. I think because they kind of were more of like a
Oh, they
sneaker
were platform sneakers.
Yes, but they
Okay.
had like a patent leather on the
Okay,
top.
got it.
But I think it had like laces, so
Right.
you could wear them as a
Yeah.
sneaker. But they were ridiculous. Like they were like this
Right.
tall.
So what's so bad about this style?
Well, so no, that
Oh,
was
okay,
the
that's-
glory days. So then I moved to Connecticut.
Oh.
And all of a sudden it was like buy uniforms,
Mm.
you're in a public school. I was going into 5th grade and I not only was going through puberty and like, trying to make friends, but also was like, how do I identify a personal style?
Yes.
And I remember.
So wait, there were no uniforms anymore.
No
Okay, that's a
uniforms.
really crazy age to be like, we're gonna just throw you out to the wolves and like figure it out.
Yeah.
In a new place.
Yes.
In Connecticut.
In a different climate.
Yeah, okay.
Like no longer
Right.
can you
That's
wear like
where
the
your
cute...
love of oversized sweaters came
Pretty
from.
much, yeah. Well, so I had this like really sad moment of like, and this is actually, this sticks in my head forever. I've written about it a million times, but I went to this like metaphysical store because I was getting into like that kind of stuff, the crystals and the whatever. And I loved like fairies and fantasy. And so I went to this store and I bought myself this like flax linen, like something that like a 50-year-old woman in the like woods of Connecticut would be wearing, which like I would still wear today. Like I love it. It's like Eileen Fisher to the max. It was beautiful. And I like had this outfit and it was like, you know, culotte pants with the big shirt. And then I had a medicine bag that this like, you know, this Native American woman that I met gave me. And I was so proud, and I had my camera, and I'm taking pictures on the playground, and this kid literally came up to me and made fun of me and was like, I can't believe you're wearing this outfit. Like, you look like a grandma. And I went home and never wore anything like that again. So I feel like that just, like, crushed my personal style. And my mom was like, well, what if you just came up with your own uniform? And she basically was like, we'll do jeans, sneakers, and a sweatshirt, and that's what you'll wear.
Daily uniform. Your mom is brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I wore from basically 6th grade all the way through senior year.
Okay.
I had a couple of moments in between where I tried to like have a personal style. And one day I wore this, I'll never forget it. It was the most hideous outfit I've ever.
Okay, actually, wait. Is this a, question? Oh, what was the style outfit mistake you made? Okay, so basically you're doing so well with never listening to the podcast that you're answering all of my questions and I don't even have to ask them. So you actually, do you think that linen outfit was a style mistake that you made? Or is this, okay, so this.
I love the linen outfit and I would still wear it today. I was like digging through the basement like looking for it.
Tell us what your style,
The mistake was definitely, I mean, I've had a couple. Like when I look back at my high school in general, I'm like, yikes. But there are actually two come to mind. But one that I was about to reference is I was wearing this like, I got it at Forever 21. It was a sweater dress jumper thing. But it was in burgundy, which like would have been fine. But instead of wearing like, I don't know, like a turtleneck under it or something like that just would look good. Yeah. I did a brown Hollister, like one of those like, you know, those like skin tight Hollister shirts that we used to wear with like the V-neck.
Yes. Were they ribbed?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So it was like a ribbed, super, super tight Hollister, like brown, like this like chocolate brown color with the burgundy sweater dress on top. And then I wore white tights, like not see-through, like sweater tights.
Opaque, okay.
Horrible. And then not even Ugg boots, but Costco.
Okay, yeah, this is a disaster.
And then, and I had a bow in my hair. I like half straightened my hair.
Were you in high school?
Oh yeah, I was like in senior year. Okay. And there are pictures of this day. And I remember like I was on the yearbook and I thought like we were doing superlatives and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to get nominated for like most fashionable. I got most artistic, which,
that's really cool.
Is cool. Yeah.
Yes. So I love that.
And then I have to tell you about the other mistake, though, because this one was really bad. Yeah. I decided because also I was in Connecticut and everyone, I think my entire school was like basically 95% white. Okay. So I was like the only mixed kid in my school. Right. And for prom, I decided that I needed a spray tan. So I got a spray tan that made me look orange.
I just watched the Friends episode where Ross
I was Ross. I was Ross. It was so, and then I wore this like teal dress that I was really upset. I had it like made and the length was like kind of like right under the knee, which is like really cute.
I'm getting like Pretty in Pink vibes right now.
I don't know if I've.
Okay, you got to, assignment for you is listen to my podcast and go home and watch Pretty in Pink while you're beating.
It's such Molly a classic. Ringwald. I'm like, I know.
Mean, you're younger than me, so that was like when I was like growing up.
Yeah, yes, but
she wore a dress that was that length.
It's like coming to, I feel like I have either seen it like a long time ago or I know the dress because I'm like envisioning it.
Okay, so it was teal, you had a spray tan.
Yes.
And it was a weird length?
It was at a weird length. And I remember all I wanted was a short dress. And I asked, and it had like a bodice that was sort of like ribbed sort of. So I like pulled the fabric underneath and like tucked it. And I was like, well, I want it this length. And then the person that was tailoring it for me thought I literally meant to make like a waterfall cascade like the it was so bad. God. So basically it got tailored just with like some tucked Yeah. And it was a disaster. So those are my two.
So did you have like a bad prom because of it?
Well, I mean, this is going down. We can cut this out if
Yeah.
it's too long. But my junior year, actually, on the way to prom, I got in a car accident and almost missed my prom. And I like didn't want to go to the hospital, so I like went, but then like cried in a corner for the entire.
Oh my God. Okay, so proms and you are not, no.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
honestly, my proms were not good
So
either.
bad.
So bad. But that's like high school. And I feel like those are like
It's
the
a rite of
memories
passage.
yeah, totally. All right, what else? So we are up to, oh, this is a good one. When you have a thing that you're going to, let's say it's like, an important event, what are you what are not reaching for? Like, what is your go-to? What is like something that makes you feel amazing and put together and like, you know,
I mean, I think it's a couple of things. It's the brows for sure. Like I'm always kind of doing the brow
okay.
brush gel.
Me too. Always. I brush my eyebrows in my car all the time.
I love it. You
Me
have
too.
really good brows.
Thank
like
you.
have like the brows that like everyone envies and wants to have. We need the eyebrow emoji to like pop up on the
let
screen.
me tell you, I had a unibrow when I was younger, so
But see, that's always the thing. If you have the unibrow, you're gonna have good brows.
yeah, but
Like,
it was not good brows when I was little. So,
But,
anyway,
whatever.
right,
You have to,
exactly.
it's free to
Yes,
follow. It's
totally.
great. It's wonderful.
I know. I still remember going to get my eyebrows waxed for the first time in Great Neck at this place called Burmaine. And it was like one of those old school, like they sold makeup, but with like no brand on it. And you'd go into the back and they'd like burn your face off.
Oh my God, I
but
hate.
Anyway,
I
it was,
hate.
yeah. But wait, okay. So like, tell me about like a thing that you, like an outfit. Yes, the
Okay.
brows, but
Yeah.
like a thing that you put on to feel like I'm the boss or I'm,
Trying to think. I feel like recently it changes, but recently I went to an event and my mom has done an incredible job at collecting a lot of really amazing designer pieces. And she had this, I guess it would be a boucle material, Chanel bright red
okay.
coat. It's like
Whoa.
it's a jacket, but like or blazer. It's amazing. Like so cool. And she was like, I'm not really wearing this anymore. It doesn't really fit
Is it
me.
vintage?
It's I mean at this point, yeah.
Oh my
It's
God,
from like
that's
the 80s or
amazing.
90s.
Stop. That is so cool. So your mom's into fashion.
Oh yeah. So my mom was a flight attendant in like the heyday of flying in the 70s.
Wow.
She and 80s.
There's a book, a memoir that you should read.
What is
written
it?
by, it's called Fly Girl.
Ooh.
We're going to go to the bookstore after. Lisa, we're
Yes.
coming to see you. She recommended it, and I wonder if your mom would. It's a memoir of a flight attendant.
Oh, I have to read.
Yes.
So, and it's funny because she had the most amazing stories. So she did the international route on TWA.
I have the chills right now. That is
It
so
was,
cool.
Like I literally wish I could like see what it was like. Like she was
Yes.
going to like Cairo and
Oh my
Paris.
God.
So she had all these like things that she would do when she'd get to each destination. So like in Paris she would get all of her fragrances, and in like Cairo she has like a what is it called? The cartouche with her name on it.
Wow.
And yeah, like and then she would talk about going into the bazaars, and my parents actually when they first
Wow.
met, so they met on a plane.
Oh my God.
And it was actually on my mom's leg from Paris back to New York. And
Is your dad American?
he's Israeli.
Okay.
So, and
Oh,
he was
yeah, I
actually
knew that.
flying. Yeah,
Yes.
he was flying back from Tel Aviv.
Okay.
And he got on the leg of my mom's flight, and the TVs weren't working. So he went and flirted with the flight attendant.
That story is a whole podcast in itself.
I know, it's nuts.
Yeah.
But when she was in Egypt, they had just started dating, and my dad, I guess, saw a photo of like her last trip there, and she was like in the bazaar, and there was this amazing fabric tapestry art piece. And my dad, both my parents have the most eclectic, amazing, cool style.
So then that's where
Like
you,
my dad
yeah.
with his shoes, his shoe collection is better than my shoes.
Wow.
It's nuts. Like red loafers, like cool cowboy boots.
Oh my
like,
God.
They're so cool. When they go out together, you're just like,
Okay,
who are
I
you?
think we need a picture of like them together for everyone to see. I need to
yes.
see. Okay, so
Yes.
send that to me too.
Definitely.
Okay.
They're like the most fabulous people.
Sorry, I totally took the story away from the red Chanel.
Oh, I know. Well, so I'm
jacket.
kind of like circling
Okay.
back. It's like such a
Sorry.
long, but basically like they ended up getting this like really cool tapestry from Egypt, and like that's in their home.
That is
And,
amazing.
Yeah. So my mom, she just like would collect throughout her entire time of her travels. And then when we were kids, she was always like, pulling in these pieces that were just so unique. And so now we have this amazing ability to like shop her closet, and,
I'm so jealous.
It's so cool.
That's the best.
Yeah. So
So that's like, would you put on, like, that's something that you would put on to be like, I'm going to this event, like, and you want to feel a certain way, like
yeah.
powerful.
Yeah,
That's
that's
pretty much what it
definitely,
is.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
anything that's like that, like something from like my mom's collection or anything that like really has
Probably
that.
infused with her energy also.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's
For
very
sure.
cool. I love that. Okay, so I think we've pretty much covered. No, no, one more question before my wrap up questions. What look will you never be over? It could be a look that you saw on a runway. It could be a look of your mom's. It could be a look that you wore to a specific event, but something that you just will always hold in your mind's eye to be like the coolest thing.
This is so difficult.
Okay.
I'm like what would be, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I think people have chosen, like, a look on a vintage runway or a look they saw in a magazine or a look that they wore. Someone picked their pink wedding dress. Someone picked their, just something that you can, like, recall. Maybe it's something that your mom wore. Like, I'm feeling that maybe it's something that you saw your mom in that you were like,
I mean, she has so many of
yeah,
those moments. Like I feel like anytime she gets dressed, I'm like, what?
yeah.
I don't know. It's really like this is
Okay.
like really hard.
Okay, no. We do not even have to. This is, you've answered so many like
Okay.
additional questions for me, so it's totally fine. We're gonna jump right into the closing questions, which I ask all my guests. What is the first thing you do in the morning?
The first thing I do in the morning is, this is so boring. I brush my teeth.
Okay, after that.
And then I drink cacao. So I have a ceremonial grade cacao. I sweeten it with a little bit of local honey for my allergies. And,
Nice.
and then I usually will sit on the couch and read. And I've been reading like voraciously, just like so many beautiful books. So
And is there like a specific, do you read in the morning? Is it like poetry? Is it like a novel, or it's just whatever you're reading currently?
kind of whatever I'm reading, but right now I'm on a bit of a novel kick.
Okay.
I'm actually currently reading The Red Tent, which I'm obsessed with. It's
Okay.
so good.
Okay. I love that. Okay. What is the last thing you do before you go to bed?
The last thing I do before I go to bed is watch Friends.
Really? Oh my God, that's a help. When I was just flying to Paris, they had 13 or 14
Oh, man.
episodes of Friends from the last season, and I rewatched them. I was cackling on the plane.
It's so
So it
never
actually
gets
puts
old.
you into like a good headspace.
Yeah, there's something about that period in New York.
Yes.
And the stories that they tell that
Is it like comforting
it's
to you?
so I watched it throughout the pandemic.
Okay.
I've watched it pretty much my entire adult life.
Okay.
Over and over.
Yeah.
And, like I've seen every single episode like 20 times.
That's I love it.
Yeah.
That's a great answer, and nobody's ever said that before.
Oh, amazing.
Okay, what do you sleep in?
I sleep naked.
Oh my God, you are actually my brother, I was scared was going to say that. I think he does, but he did not. No, okay, so every night,
Yeah.
no matter what, in
Yeah.
winter or summer or, okay.
I really, it's like, it's been a slow progression.
Yeah.
Like I used to do like a big t-shirt.
Yeah.
And like a pair of like granny panties or
Okay.
whatever. But now I'm
Do
like,
you have nice sheets?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's
and I'm really big about like, I wash my sheets
Yes.
like every week.
Yeah.
I change the pillowcases every couple of days.
Okay. All right,
But
cool. I love that answer. All
It's so
natural.
healthy.
It
It's
is
so
healthy.
healthy.
You're right. Okay, so we are going to wrap things up. I want you to tell everyone where they can find you and where they can shop your ritual pieces and your amazing jewelry. So, your Instagram?
yeah. So right now my Instagram is the best place.
Okay.
Maya.ahalvo. The Shopsafta Instagram does exist. It's Shopsafta. SAFTA, and shopsafta.com is launching imminently. So
Yay!
you'll be
Okay,
able to shop
amazing.
it there.
And we'll put it in the show notes.
Perfect.
And also, I want you to come back and do another pop-up at the store. So
Would love.
that date will be posted also. Thank you for listening. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.